Okay, so we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 today. So in the previous session, we talked about chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, which is titled as Karma Yoga. And the acronym which we used for describing chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, anybody remembers what was the acronym for chapter 3? Tree. Yes, Tree. Tree. So that was the acronym which we used for chapter 3. So the flow of chapter 3, it starts with Tyag. What is real renunciation? Is it giving up karma or giving up the result of karma? So karma phala tyag versus karma sannyas. So we understood the difference between that. And what is recommendation of Krishna? Krishna is not recommending to give up work, but give up the attachment to the result of one's work. So tyag, and then the rugs of yoga ladder, coming from vikarma to sakama karma to karma yoga. So Krishna recommends performing karma yoga, performing all your activities with consciousness of Krishna and giving up the result of one's activity. And then E stands for exemplary. Krishna says, behave exemplary in this world. Yad yad acharati sreshthas. As a superior person performs, the other common men follow. So be exemplary. And then the last section of this chapter was another E, means for enemy of the living entity. Who is our greatest enemy? Our greatest enemy is not somebody else, not somebody outside, but it is within our own heart, within our own mind and intelligence. That is Kama and Krodha. Kamesha Krodhesha Rajoguna Samudbhava. Mahashano Mahapapma Varina Vidhyenam Ehi Varina. So Krishna says, know that that is our greatest enemy. And where to find that enemy? Krishna says it is residing in our own senses, mind and intelligence. And how to curb that enemy? By sharpening our intelligence. With the sharpened intelligence, control the mind, and with that controlled mind, control the senses. Engage the senses in higher purpose. So that was the chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, talking about Karma Yoga. Now today we'll be talking about chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, which is Gyan Yoga, known as transcendental knowledge. And the acronym to understand the flow of chapter 4, we are going to use ears. Okay? EARS. Ears. So the first section of this chapter is E, eternal knowledge. Okay, how to receive the eternal knowledge. What is this eternal knowledge? And how do we receive that eternal knowledge? You have to hear the knowledge. That's why the acronym we are using is ears. So we have to engage our ears in this process, in the process of hearing to receive this transcendental knowledge. So E, and then the next is A. After we have received that knowledge, how to apply that eternal knowledge, how to put that into practice. And then R stands for removing the reactions. Removing the reactions of our work which bind us in this material world. How to take karma into akarma. How to move from the ladder of karma to akarma. And then the last section is S, means the sacrifices for attaining this transcendental knowledge. Okay, what we need to sacrifice to attain this transcendental knowledge. We have to give up something, right? If we want to gain something in this world, we have to give up something. So what is that which we have to give up? What are the kind of sacrifices needed to attain this transcendental knowledge? So that is the overall flow of chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. Remember the acronym EARS. EARS. Okay, so with that we'll start. And before we enter into this chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, let's recite the invocation prayers to invoke the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the Guru Parampara. Om Gyan Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat kripatamaham vande Sri Guru Dinatarinim Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratshe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchah kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So once again welcome everyone, whoever maybe joined slightly late. So today we are discussing chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, which is known as the Transcendental Knowledge. So the chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, it starts with Lord Krishna continuing the discussion from where Krishna had left in chapter 3, because in real sense what we see, Bhagavad Gita is a continuous dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Okay, it's not that Lord Krishna is speaking that okay, now I am ending chapter 3, now I am entering into chapter 4, now I am ending chapter 4, entering into chapter 5. It's a continuous dialogue, and later on when Bhagavad Gita was put into writing, it was split into chapters based on the flow of the discussion. So in chapter 3, Lord Krishna, he provided this knowledge that who is our greatest enemy, that is Kamesha, Krodesha. The lust and anger, they are the biggest enemy, and one need to curb this biggest enemy. And how to curb that is by sharpening the intelligence. How to sharpen the intelligence? By spiritual knowledge, by transcendental knowledge. So that is where this flow continues, chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. We need to sharpen our intelligence with the help of this transcendental knowledge. So text 1, it starts with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvake Abravit. So Lord Krishna is telling that this knowledge was received in this way, in a parampara system. I gave this knowledge earlier to Bhivaswan. Imam Bhivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Abhyayam. In that way, this knowledge flowed down in a Guru Shishya Parampara, in a disciplic succession. I gave this knowledge to Bhivaswan, Bhivaswan gave it to Manu, Manu gave it to Ikshvaku, and in that way this knowledge came down. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishayo vidhu sakale neha mahata yoge nashtah parantapah. So in this way this knowledge came down in the disciplic succession, but with the influence of time this disciplic succession was broken. So I am re-establishing that disciplic succession. So that's why I'm giving this knowledge to you. So Lord Krishna is describing the history of this knowledge. Okay, so that is the connection with the previous shlokas, that we need to gain the transcendental knowledge, and this knowledge is not something new. This has been coming down. This was given. This is not the first time I am speaking this knowledge. I have given this knowledge earlier to Bhivaswan. Bhivaswan gave it to Manu. Who is Bhivaswan? Bhivaswan is sun god. Okay, that is the name of the sun deity, Bhivaswan. Bhivaswan gave it to Manu. Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. So in that way, this knowledge came down. Evam paramparaha praptam. The saintly kings also received this knowledge in that way. So Krishna is trying to motivate Arjuna that this is not something now concocted just now to motivate you for fighting. This is eternal knowledge. This is not something new. And in our current world scenario also, if we see how the different companies do their marketing, okay, they will show, let's say somebody want to go join a weight loss program. So what does that particular agency, particular company shows? They will show the other people who have taken to this program, they have got success of this program, and they will show the before photos and after photos. Okay, this person before was like this, after joining this program, he is like this. So that's how they use the marketing. So showing the previous photo and the new photos to encourage that yes, somebody else has taken to this program, they have got the success, you can also do that. So Krishna is also same way telling Arjuna, this is not something new. It's not that something new I have just come up with to motivate you. This knowledge is eternal knowledge. And what is the process to understand this knowledge? Descending process. It is coming down from the Supreme Lord, passed down in a disciplic succession. Okay, as we have discussed earlier in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, there are various methods of acquiring knowledge. What are the various methods of acquiring knowledge? One could be based on sense perception. We try to gain knowledge based on our senses, whatever we can experience through our senses. Then another one is Anuman Praman, that is based on some logic and inference. But both these methods are not foolproof. They are prone to errors. So what is the next method of acquiring knowledge? That is receiving from an authority. Okay, receiving the knowledge from an authority. And who is that authority? It is coming down directly from Krishna in a disciplic succession, which is now available to us in the form of scriptures, in the form of the current gurus, current Guru Parampara. So somebody may argue, okay, Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna, but if we look at our Guru Shishya Parampara, we don't see Arjuna's name there. Arjuna's name is not there listed in Guru Parampara. Krishna is saying, oh, this Parampara was lost and I am giving this knowledge to you to re-establish this. But Arjuna's name is not there. So how to understand that? So we have to understand, if we look at the Guru Parampara, from where does it start? Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahma. Brahma gave to Narada. Narada gave it to Vyasadeva. And when Lord Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, that time also Vyasadeva also heard this knowledge. Okay, it's not that only Arjuna had heard that actually this Bhagavad Gita that time. But Vyasadeva also heard this. Even Sanjay had also heard this. And he had spoken it to Dhritarashtra also. So Vyasadeva heard and Vyasadeva wrote it down. Krishna has instructed to Vyasadeva, you sit down here, you compile it down, you write it down everything, so that the next generations to come will have access to this knowledge. So Vyasadeva had received this knowledge along with Arjuna, and Vyasadeva is mentioned in the Guru disciplic succession. From there, Vyasadeva, this knowledge is coming down to our current parampara also, where we have His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is presenting this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, as it is. Okay, Bhagavad Gita Yatha Roop. Now, if we go to Kurukshetra, where Lord Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, so that place is still there. And alongside that place, there is a place where Vyasadeva sitting places, where Vyasadeva sat down and wrote this Bhagavad Gita. So So that place is also still there. So the knowledge to be received as Guru disciplic succession, not by our own concoction. Okay, so ISKCON is also facilitating that. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. What is that? It is just facilitating to pass down that same knowledge in the disciplic succession. Sometimes people think, oh, ISKCON is meant for high class people. In ISKCON, we see mostly high class people are there. But that is not true.
Okay.
In ISKCON, all sort of people come. And at the temple gate, there is no guard, there is no scanning system which just checks what is your qualification, how much money you have in your bank account. So nobody checks that. Everybody is welcome. So ISKCON is meant for everybody. Even at the beginning of ISKCON, when the ISKCON organization was founded, most of the people who came into the organization were hippies, who were not very educated also materially. So it's not meant for a particular class of people, it is meant for everybody. But yes, sometimes we have to prioritize, we have to put our focus, we want to influence such people who in turn can influence other, who in turn can influence many more people. That's why even Krishna says this knowledge was given down, passed down in a disciplic succession to the saintly kings, Raja Rishi. So the knowledge is given, passed down through the saintly kings who gave this knowledge to their citizen, who ruled in such a way that everybody follows this process. That's why in the previous chapter Lord Krishna says, Yad yad acharati sreshthas. When the superior people act in a particular way, the common men follow. So if the people who are in a position of influence, let's say the politicians and other business class people, highly educated people, if they take to this process, if they read Bhagavad Gita and apply Bhagavad Gita in their life, they can influence many more people. So in the beginning, when Prabhupada wrote the commentary on Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavad Gita was printed, Prabhupada used the remarks of Allen Ginsberg. Okay, he was a famous poet of that time during this hippie movement was going on. So Prabhupada he had a great appreciation for Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada used his remarks in Bhagavad Gita forward. But later on, when the movement grew, then Srila Prabhupada thought it's not more needed, it's not any more needed to put that forward. Because movement is not just meant for hippies, but also it includes hippies. So yes, it does include hippie, but it's not meant only for hippies. So same way, this movement is not meant for one class of people, that okay, only high class of people, only very learned people who are the IITians or the IIM pass outs, but it is meant for everybody. Whoever has a spark, whoever want to understand the spiritual life and want to progress in spiritual life, it is meant for everybody. So this knowledge can be understood through disciplic succession. That is first quality. How to understand this knowledge. Okay, so you have to remember what are the criteria to understand this transcendental knowledge. One is we have to approach a guru, which Krishna is going to very clearly mention towards the end of this chapter also. We cannot understand this knowledge by our own concoction. So text 3, Krishna says, Bhakto asime sakha cheti, rahasyam hai etad uttamam. So qualification to understand this knowledge is one should be devotee in any particular rasa. Bhakto asime sakha cheti. One has to be a devotee, and Arjuna is a devotee in Sakhya rasa. So one can be devotee in any rasa. It does not matter. It's not that one has to be in Sakhya rasa like Arjuna only. One can be in Dasya rasa, in Vatsalya rasa, in Madhurya rasa. But one has to have a relationship with Krishna. One has to be a devotee of Krishna to understand this rahasya. This is a secret. Krishna is saying this is a secret. Even though Bhagavad Gita is openly available, everybody can access this book, everybody can read this book, but still it is a secret. It's an open secret. By just reading the book, one cannot understand. When somebody has devotion in the heart, then slowly Krishna reveals this knowledge in the heart. Then the inner meanings of these shlokas will reveal in our heart. Okay, when somebody approaches a bona fide guru, take shelter of the guru, take shelter of Krishna, have a service attitude toward them, then this knowledge is revealed. So rahasyam hai etad uttamam. And the qualification. So first qualification was we have to receive this knowledge through disciplic succession. Second qualification is one has to become a devotee of Krishna. Only then one can completely understand this secret. Why it is secret? Because secrecy in this world is maintained for two reasons. Right? Why people want to keep some secrets? They have two reasons primarily. Either somebody is selfish in keeping the truth to oneself, right? They don't want others to know. Why somebody else should know more than me? So they want to keep secret. So that is first reason. And then second reason is a better reason in the sense to protect the abuse of that knowledge. Oh, if I tell that person and he is going to go and tell everybody else and he is just going to manipulate others. So sometimes people keep secret to avoid the abuse of some information. So these are the two reasons why sometimes people in this world keep some secrets. But the science of yoga, it remains a secret not because of any of these reasons. Okay, because it requires a qualification to be understood. That is the reason it's a secret. There has to be a qualification. We have to become a qualified patra. If you go to get milk from the milkman, okay, if you go and tell him, please give me 1 liter milk, and he's going to say, okay, in what pot should I put this milk? Do you have a jug or a mug or a bowl, or what do you have? कि आपके पास जग है कि glass है, क्या है? So you need to have some pot to receive that milk. So same way, to receive this transcendental knowledge, we need to have certain qualification, certain patrata. And when that qualification is there, then this knowledge is revealed. So that's why Krishna is saying, what is that patrata? That patrata is to become a devotee. Bhakto asime sakha cheti rahasyam hayetad uttamam. Qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita is not just the knowledge in Sanskrit. Okay, one cannot say, oh, I am very good at Sanskrit. I am a Sanskrit scholar, so I can read this Bhagavad Gita. I even don't need the translations and purports. I can read directly Sanskrit. Knowledge of Sanskrit is not the criteria to understand Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so same way, the ticket to understand Bhagavad Gita is devotion, not just Sanskrit. Yes, knowledge of Sanskrit is better. If somebody has some understanding of Sanskrit, some knowledge of Sanskrit, he can understand the words, the meaning of the words better. So some knowledge is better, but it's not mandatory to understand Bhagavad Gita. All these people, hippies and all, who came into this movement, they have no clue about Sanskrit. And when they started hearing this knowledge, they were able to understand because their submissiveness to Srila Prabhupada, submissiveness to the process. So, knowledge of Sanskrit is not the criteria. Just like if somebody is an English professor and he picks up a quantum physics book which is written in English, and can he claim that because the book is written in English and I am an English professor and I can understand quantum physics? That's not a qualification, that's not a criteria. Yes, the book may be written in a particular language, the subject may be written in a particular language, but just the knowledge of the language does not qualify us to understand that particular subject matter. Once a person was traveling in the train and the TT, the ticket collector, he came, he asked for the ticket. And this person started telling all sort of things. He said, oh, do you know me? Who am I? I am a graduate from IIT Bombay. Okay, very good. But sir, where is your ticket? Oh, you don't understand. I was the topper from IIT Bombay. I was a gold medalist. Oh sir, that's very good. But please, where is your ticket? Oh, you don't understand. I was the highest paying placement in the campus. The TT said, that's very good, sir, but where is the ticket? Yes, you may be passed out from IIT, gold medalist and highest paying placement from the campus, but to travel in the train, you need a qualification. And that qualification is you need to have the ticket. So as there is a ticket needed to travel in the train, so same way there is a qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita. And that qualification is devotion in the heart and approaching a bona fide guru, connecting with the disciplic succession. And sometimes people make business on the words of Krishna, giving their own message in the garb of Krishna. Oh, Krishna had said this in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita mein Bhagwan ne aisa kaha hai. And you ask that, can you show me where has Krishna said this? And they have no clue. It's so many times people say, so many WhatsApp messages float around. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said this. And they have no reference, nothing. On the name of Bhagavad Gita, people just pass out their own ideas. Yes, everybody has the right to present their own viewpoint, their own opinion, but don't force it on the name of Bhagavad Gita, in the garb of Bhagavad Gita. One can directly say, this is my opinion, and then you see how many people will like to follow you. So don't present your own viewpoints in the name of Bhagavad Gita. It is just like if somebody is giving a lecture, let's say I am speaking in English, and in the audience there is somebody who is Russian, who can understand only Russian language, and there is a translator who is translating English into Russian for that particular person. Now the person who is translating, he is supposed to translate whatever I am speaking. But if the translator, he starts giving his own class, his own discourse, okay, he starts saying whatever he wants to convey. Now that will be a misuse. So yes, you can say your own thing, whatever you are saying, but don't say in the name of translating, in the garb of, oh, this person is saying. So same way, yes, Bhagavad Gita is giving its message, but if somebody is using the name of Bhagavad Gita to pass on their own message, then that is the biggest harm done in the society. People just want to say anything and they put the name on Krishna. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. Where does Krishna says? Can you give a reference also? So Krishna, first 3 set of verses, Krishna is saying this transcendental knowledge is coming down in disciplic succession, and you can also gain this knowledge because you are my most dear friend and you are devotee. And after Krishna mentioned the history of this knowledge, Arjuna asked a question. Okay, Arjuna posed a doubt. Arjuna's doubt was how to understand that you gave this knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. Because Vivaswan is much, much older than you. You are standing in front of me here, 89 years old. And that was the age of Krishna at the time of Mahabharat war, the war of Kurukshetra. So Arjuna's question was, you are here present with me right now. Sun god Vivaswan has happened much, much earlier than you. To how to understand that you gave this knowledge to Krishna, to sun god Vivaswan. So Arjuna is asking a question to clear doubt for all of us, for people to come, right? Because in Kali Yuga there will be people who will ask such questions, okay, who have no understanding about the identity of Krishna, about the supremacy of Krishna. So Arjuna is actually not doubting Krishna. He is not saying, no, I don't trust you. How can I trust you? But he is asking Krishna, please help me understand this. Please help me. How can I understand this? And he is asking this question for the benefit of all of us. So Krishna answers that I have taken many, many lives before. You have taken many, many lives before. You have appeared many times. You cannot remember. But I can remember everything from my previous appearances also. Why? Because Krishna's body does not change. Krishna's body is eternal. We have a material body. Once our body changes, we forget everything. But Krishna's body is not material. Krishna's body is not made of material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, like all of us. His body is eternal. And Krishna can remember everything. In the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna will mention that I can remember the past, present and future of all the living entities in all their lifetimes. But all together cannot know me in completeness. So that is the supremacy of Krishna. Krishna knows everything, past, present and future, of everybody, every living entity. So Krishna remembers his past appearances, but we forget. And why do we forget? Because our memories are based on our body. And once our bodies change, we lose the reference point. It's just like you have so many files stored in the computer. Okay, so when you want to search up some data, if the whole disk has been taken out, then how can you find the file? So it's not about just losing the information in the file, but deleting the whole file altogether. So once our body changes, our whole reference point has changed, so we forget everything from our previous lives. And also we have the tendency to forget. As a material body, our ability to remember is very limited. We cannot even remember what I did at the same time exactly yesterday or day before yesterday. How many of you will remember what did you eat 2 days back at the same time, or in the lunch or in the dinner? You have to think hard to remember that. Then what to speak of 1 week earlier, 1 month earlier. So we have tendency to forget, but Krishna can remember everything. And another reason is the past memories. Why we forget, why we do not remember from the previous lifetimes? Because somebody may ask this question, oh, if I could remember something from my previous lives, then I will be more careful so that I don't make those mistakes in this life now. Yes, it's a very good point, but the problem is the past memories may be so terrible and it may be so much pain giving. If we remember those, it will be impossible for us to continue. And that's why it's arrangement of Krishna to help us to give up those bad experiences, the terrible and pain-giving memory. That is also mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, if we remember everything, if we remember what all bad happened to us, somebody said something, somebody did something, if we remember everything, it will be so terrible for us to live and continue. Somebody may have a more revengeful attitude actually. Because if you remember everything, what somebody else has done to you, you will have that revengeful attitude then. So Krishna is helping us by giving us forgetfulness. And in the 15th chapter, later Krishna will tell, Mattah samritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes remembrance, from me comes the knowledge, from me comes the forgetfulness. Apoham. So Krishna is giving that forgetfulness for our benefit. So here, now Krishna has cleared the doubt of Arjuna that I have existed previously also, I can remember everything, but you cannot remember. And then Krishna gives the reason. Krishna tells, yes, I come yuga after yuga into this material world. And for what purpose do I come? So 2 very famous shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, they come in this chapter. And with this Mahabharat serial when it came, B.R. Chopra, Mahabharat serial, these 2 shlokas became very popularized. Everybody maybe remember these shlokas. So very famous shloka, text 4.7, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So Krishna is saying, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata. Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious principle, abhyutthanam adharmasya, and there is increase in adharma, tadatmanam srijamyaham, that time I manifest myself into this material world. So Krishna says, dharmasya glanir, whenever there is decline in religious principle. So what is this decline in religious principle? This is a social arrangement. Basically, dharma is a social arrangement by which people can practice the principles of spirituality. Okay, so it's a social arrangement to practice principles of spirituality. And when there is decline in practicing those principles, it leads to adharma, increase in adharma. Just like Sugar. Sugar has its dharma. What is the dharma of sugar? It's giving sweetness. But if sugar stop giving sweetness and starts giving a bitter taste, that is the glani of sugar's dharma. The dharma of water is to quench thirst. But if the water doesn't quench thirst, then it is a glani in water's dharma. So same way for human beings, dharma is to follow the principles given in the scriptures. Live by the instructions of scriptures. But if people stop following those principles, that lead to decline in religious principles. And abhyutta adharmasya, increase in the irreligion. And what is dharma? Dharma is dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Dharma is directly given by the Supreme Lord. These are the instructions given by the Supreme Lord how to live in this world. So we can cut down the bondage in this material world. Because Lord wants all the living entities to come back to spiritual world. He doesn't want us to suffer in this material world, and He is ready to do whatever is required for us to come back. So the Lord comes personally in this world. He gives scriptures. He gives the various holy places, the places of His pastimes, so we can visit the holy places and in that way try to remember the Lord. Lord gives His holy name, so we can remember the Lord by chanting His holy name. He Himself comes time to time, as He says, yada yada hi dharmasya. So whenever there is decline, I come. He sends His representative. He sends the acharyas. He sends the guru. So Krishna does everything what is required for us to connect with Him, to go back to the spiritual world. But what is our problem? That even though Krishna is giving everything, but we are still not able to practice, we are not able to move forward. So Krishna comes. Increase in irreligion, it's not just like a 0 or 1, that either there is dharma or there is adharma. This is a gradual shift from dharma to adharma. When more people follow the principles of religion, then it is more dharma is prevalent. When more people stop following the principles of dharma, principles of scripture, then it becomes as adharma. It's not just as a cloud over the head, all of a sudden now it's dharma or now it's adharma. So it's a gradual transition from dharma to adharma. So Krishna says, what do I do when I come? In previous text, Krishna says, whenever there is decline, I come. Then okay, if you come in this world, then what do you do here? So text 4.8, again very, very important shloka, very famous shloka. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna gives 3 purposes. Why I come, why I descend in this material world. First, paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the saintly people. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to destroy the miscreants. And the third, dharma samsthapanarthaya, to re-establish the principles of religion. So Krishna is saying these are the 3 reasons, 3 purposes which I perform when I come in this material world. To protect my devotees, the saintly people, to destroy the miscreant people who are spreading adharma, and to re-establish the principles of dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I come yuga after yuga, millennium after millennium. So whenever there is decline in dharma, increase in adharma, Lord appears. Let's say at the time of Lord Ramachandra, when Lord Ramachandra came in Treta Yuga, at that time Ravana, he had defeated the demigods. He was tormenting people. He had stopped performance of yajna. He had his demoniac people, the Rakshasas, who will destroy the yajnas. They will eat up all the saintly people, the sadhus. And Lord Krishna, when he was wandering in the forest in Dandakaranya, Lord Ramachandra, when he was traveling in Dandakaranya, he saw a pile of bones. And Lord Ram, he was surprised seeing this pile of bones, and he asked, whose bones are these? And the sadhus traveling with him, they answered, these are the bones of the sadhus. The Rakshasas, they attack on the sadhus, they destroy the yagyas, they kill the sadhus, eat the sadhus, and these are the bones thrown over here. And Lord Ramachandra, when he heard this, he had tears in his eyes. What is happening in this my Bharat Varsha? And Lord Ram took the vow, Rakshasa Vihinam Mahinkarusari. So Lord Ramachandra, he took the vow that I will get rid of all the Rakshasas from the face of earth. Rakshasa Vahin Karu Mahisari Bhuj Uthai Pranaleen. So Lord Ramachandra took that vow. So Lord comes to destroy the miscreant people, to protect the devotees, to re-establish the principles of dharma. But if we really see, are these the primary reasons for Lord to come in this material world? Lord doesn't have to come personally to kill the miscreants. While sitting in his own abode, he can give the heart attack and the person will be dead in a minute. He can just twist one nerve. One nerve is broken in the body and we cannot even move our hand or move a particular limb. So Krishna does not have to come personally to kill the miscreants. Krishna doesn't have to come personally to protect the devotees. Krishna's name can protect the devotees. Prahlad Maharaj, he was remembering the Lord. It's not that Lord had to come to protect Prahlad personally. His name was protecting Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways, putting him under the feet of the elephant, trying to kill him with various weapons, throwing him from the cliff, throwing him into the ocean, putting him into the pit of snakes, giving him poison. So he had tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways, but Prahlad was always remembering the Lord. So Lord's name was already protecting Prahlad. He did not have to come personally to protect Prahlad. And he doesn't have to come personally to establish the principles of dharma also. He can send his representatives, the gurus, acharyas. They come, they give this teaching, they spread these teachings, and dharma is established. So then why does Lord come? What is the primary reason? Even though in Bhagavad Gita, Lord is telling these are the 3 reasons why I come in this material world. These are external reasons. These are not the primary reason for the Lord's appearance in this world. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, there is one very beautiful verse which describes the hidden purpose of Lord's appearance in this world. Where Krishna says, Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham dehima sthitah bhajate tadrashihi krida yashrutva tatparo bhavet. So why do you appear in this world? There is a hidden purpose. There is a confidential reason. Anugrahaya bhaktanam. To shower my special mercy on the devotees. भक्तों के ऊपर विशेष अनुग्रह करने के लिए मानुषम देहिमा स्थिता. I appear in this human-like form. Bhajate tadrashi krida yah shrutva tatparo bhavet. And when I appear in this material world in a human-like form, I perform many different leelas, many different pastimes. And my devotees, all my associates who see those krida, those leelas, or later who hear about those pastimes, those leelas of the Lord, their heart become attracted towards the Lord. So their heart becomes attracted and then they want to connect the relationship back with the Lord, to go back to the spiritual world. So to attract the heart of his devotees by his various leela, that is the purpose of Lord's appearance. So Lord can do all other 3 purposes by sitting in his own abode. He doesn't have to come personally. He only comes to attract the heart of his devotees by his various leelas. Okay? Even in Ramcharitmanas, the same 2 verses which Lord Krishna has spoken here, that is also mentioned in a similar wording. It says, Jab jab hoye dharma ki hani, बढ़े असुर अधम अभिमानी, तब तब धरी प्रभु विविध शरीरा, हर ही दयानिधि सज्जन पीड़ा. So whenever there is increase in adharma. जब जब होए धर्म की हानि, decline of dharma, बढ़े असुर, the irreligious people, the demonic people increase, who are too proud and too irreligious. That time the Lord appears in this world by assuming various forms. Tab tab dhari Prabhu bibid sharira, har hai dayanidhi sajjan pida. Why does Lord appear? To remove the distress of the saintly people by performing various pastimes, various leelas. So Krishna said, I come yuga after yuga for these various reasons, and I can remember all my previous activities. You cannot remember. So yes, now we can understand, yes, Krishna come time after time. What is the benefit of knowing about Krishna's different appearances? So text 4.9 is even more important than the previous two verses. Even though the previous two verses, they are very famous, okay, many people know these verses by heart, but the next verse is even more important. And Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse much more than the previous two verses, because this next verse gives the benefit of knowing Krishna's appearance and activities. So Krishna says, text 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvatah tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So Krishna is revealing the secret here. What will be the benefit of knowing about Krishna's appearances and activities? Janma karma cha me divyam. My appearance in this material world and my activities in this material world, they are divya, they are transcendental. Evam yoveti tattvataha. If somebody knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities in tattva, okay, not just casually knowing something here and there. If somebody understands Krishna in tattva, his appearance and his activities, then what happens to that person? Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Then that person, when he gives up his body, he does not have to take birth again in this material world, but he attains to Krishna, he goes back to Krishna. So that is the benefit of knowing about Krishna's appearances and activities in this world. So sometimes people may say, I don't believe in previous life because I don't remember anything. But then you ask him, hey, do you remember how you were when you were 2-3 months old? Do you remember? Or 2-3 years old? So it means if you cannot remember how you were when you were 2-3 months or 2-3 years old, does it mean you were never 2-3 months old or 2-3 years old? So we were there in our childhood. We may not remember how we were looking that time or what kind of things we did that time, but we were still there. So our parents remember that, right? They may remember, they may have some photographs also, they may show you those photographs, they may have some small video clips also, that, oh, you were doing like this when you were 2 years old, 3 years old. We may not have memories at the present moment about our previous years. So same way, we had previous lives also. We may not have the memory of our previous life, but there is some authority who has the memory of those times. And who is that authority? That is Krishna. Krishna says, I know the past, present and future of everybody. So yes, even though we may not remember our previous lives, but there is some authority who remembers it. We cannot say, I don't believe in the previous life because I can't remember that. And Krishna, his body is transcendental, his activities are transcendental. When Krishna appears in this material world, Krishna's appearance is not like a other normal human being. A child, when takes birth, the child is coming out of the womb of the mother, he is completely naked, drenched with blood, crying. They have to cut down the umbilical cord. So every child comes in this world like that. But Krishna's appearance is not like an ordinary child. Krishna doesn't come. When Krishna appears in any form, in any incarnation, he appears in his transcendental body. Even though he may assume a body of a small child on the request of the parents, but Krishna comes in a transcendental form. He is completely decorated, dressed with clothes, decorated with ornaments, nice jewelry, crown. He displays his four-handed form with various Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam holding into the four hands. So Krishna's appearance in this world is not like an ordinary child. That's why we don't say Bhagwan ka janam hua. उसको बोलते हैं भगवान का प्राकट्य हुआ. There is a difference in taking birth versus appearing in this material world. We take birth in this material world. If we have chosen to come in this, we have been sent into this material world, we have fallen down into this material world, but Krishna comes by his own choice. Just like somebody is in the prison house. Somebody has gone to the prison house because they have committed some crime, they were caught by the police, they took him to the court, the judge has given him a sentence, and now this person is in the prison house. Now the jailer is also there in the prison house, but jailer is there for a different reason. And the Prime Minister of the country may also come and visit that prison house. One cannot say, oh, the Prime Minister also came to this prison house. Prime Minister has just come to visit that prison house to see how everything is going in that prison house. So same way in this world, we are all there in this material world, not by choice, but because we committed something that we were sent into this material world. But Lord Krishna descends down into this material world by his own sweet will to reclaim these fallen souls by performing his beautiful pastimes to attract the heart of his devotees. So Krishna does so many beautiful activities, stealing the butter, playing with the cowherd boys, playing with the cowherd gopis. So in that way, Krishna steals the heart of everything. So Krishna is just like a actor, and he is also the script writer. See, if there is any movie, in the movie there is an actor who is playing a particular role, and that actor, somebody may say, oh, actor will do whatever is being told by the director, and director will do whatever is based on written in the script. So the same way in this material world, Krishna is the actor. When Krishna comes in this material world, he acts out so many beautiful pastimes. And the Yoga Maya, she is the director. Yoga Maya is directing. But does Krishna comes under the control of Yoga Maya? No. Why? Because Yoga Maya is working based on the script writer. And who is the script writer? That is Krishna himself. So Yoga Maya is just facilitating what Krishna is directing. And Krishna's, he is the best actor. In one sense, he himself is the director and he himself is the script writer. So Krishna performs so many beautiful activities. If somebody understands the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and activities, then they don't have to take birth in this material world. They go back to Krishna. So Krishna's activities are wonderful, amazing. A small child, any ordinary child, when they perform some particular activities, it may be very amusing. A parent may be attracted by some childish activities of their small child. So ordinary child, their activities may be amusing, but Krishna's activities are not simply amusing, they are amazing. Because once you know who has done that activity, oh, he is the Supreme Lord himself who is doing this activity, then you say, wow, Krishna himself did this. So Krishna's activities are not simply amusing, but they are amazing. And the ordinary people cannot appreciate and understand Krishna's activities. So we have a very famous picture of Krishna stealing butter and eating the butter from the pot, and the butter all around on his mouth. So when the Westerners, the Britishers, they came to India and they saw this picture of Krishna stealing butter and eating butter, they asked, who is this boy? Oh, he is Bhagwan. He is the Supreme Lord. And these Britishers, they had their circuit fused. They cannot understand how a Supreme Lord can do that activity, because they cannot understand the nature of Krishna. They have no idea about the nature of Krishna and his sweet activities. So more we hear about Krishna, more we hear about his appearance, his nature, his activities, more we develop our attraction towards Krishna. That's why hearing is very important. But simply seeing something, we may have doubts. But when we hear, when we understand it by tattva, many of our doubts are removed. That's why hearing is very important. More than seeing, hearing is important. So Krishna's transcendental activities and appearance is very important to understand, and the benefit associated with this. And what is the another benefit, or what we can say, that if such a great benefit is there to understand Krishna's appearance and activities, then what are the obstacles? What is obstacle in knowing Krishna? So Krishna says in text 10, another very important shloka of this chapter, Bhitarag bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritah bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha. So Krishna says, being freed from attachment, fear and anger. Bhit, rag, bhaya, krodha. So being freed from attachment, fear and anger. And if somebody is fully absorbed in me, man maya mamupashritaha, somebody is completely absorbed in me, taking refuge in me, then they can know me. And many people in the past, in this way, many persons in the past have become purified by knowledge of me. And thus they have attained the transcendental love for me. So what is the another qualification to know Krishna, or what we can say as an obstacle in our path for knowing Krishna? If somebody is filled with attachments, fear, anger, then they cannot understand Krishna. So the qualification is, if somebody can give up this fear, anger, attachment and focus their mind, their attention on Krishna, absorb on Krishna, take refuge in Krishna, then they can understand this transcendental knowledge. So what is this raga, attachment? Sometimes we have so many attachment in this material world. We think this material world is also a very nice place. If we can have so many wonderful things here. People want to go for Char Dham Yatra in this material world. Disney World, Vegas, Niagara Falls, New Jersey, Statue of Liberty. These are like the Char Dham Yatra for many people. People think there are so many things to do in this world, so many beautiful places to visit in this world. So people become attached within this material world to various places, various people, various objects, to their bank balance, to their prestige, to their fame and position. So that is attachment within this material world, which is an obstacle to know Krishna, to connect with Krishna. And even if there is misery in life, sometimes people think, oh, that's okay, that's part of life. But it's okay. There is not misery only, there is a lot of fun, enjoyment also. So only reason why sometimes people care for God is to fulfill their desires through God. People go to God, stand in front of God in temple and they say, please give me this, please give me this, putra dehi, pati dehi, ghar dehi, nokri dehi. So they have so many different desires, and that is the reason they go to God. Like there is a famous saying, please give me my daily bread. So they have love for the bread, not love for God. So people go to God for fulfilling their desires. They think I have these needs and God is very powerful. He can provide all my needs. So as long as you can provide my needs, then I'm good with you. If you don't fulfill my needs, then I have nothing to do with you. So people go to God and pray, please give me this, give me that. Beyond that, they have nothing to do with God. You stay where you are, you do your lila there, let me do my lila here. That is how they want to connect with God. So there is so much attachment, for us to continue in this material world. And then fear, bhai. What is this fear? Fear, sometimes people think liberation means merging into the Brahmajyoti. Many people have that conception about liberation, nirvana, mukti, that you merge into the existence of God, you become one with God, then after that there is no more existence. So they want to get rid of this bodily concept of life. And if you tell that people, no, liberation is not really means merging into the Brahman. You go to the spiritual world. There also you have a form. There also you have various activities. And when people hear about this, another personal conception, they have a fear. Why? Fear of having body again. They have a bad experiences with the body. They think body is the cause of pain, body is the cause of so much of problem. If I am going to have a body again, people are fearful of that existence. So that's why they think, no, liberation means merging into the Brahman. That is the best destination. So they have this misconception. Body means relationship, and people have bad experiences with the relationship. They think in various relationships there are so many problems. So if there is again body in spiritual world, there are so many different relations, means there will be problem again. So they cannot accept that supreme destination. And when you tell them that our ultimate reality, our ultimate savrupa is to be the servant of Krishna, jivera savrupa krishnera nityadas, that there also in spiritual world you serve Krishna. So people have again bad experience being as a servant of somebody, being as a slave of somebody. They think being as a servant means being exploited. So they think there also then it will be same thing. So people have so much of fear. They don't understand the Krishna's nature, that with relationship with Krishna, when somebody is in a servant role with Krishna, Krishna also reciprocates in the same way. Like here, Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna. Even though Arjuna is a devotee, Arjuna is a servant of Krishna, but Krishna is serving Arjuna. He is being as a servant of Arjuna, driving his chariot. So Krishna does not exploit in any relationship. Krishna has equal reciprocation. But people have this fear of getting form again, and they completely just deny that existence. So that is another reason why people cannot approach Krishna, cannot understand Krishna fully in Tattva. So attachments, fear, and then krodha. What is this krodha? Krodha means people have bad experiences about different philosophies about God. They have so much of frustration in understanding so many different philosophies. Somebody says God is having personal form. Somebody says God does not have a personal form. God is saguna, nirguna. He is just energy. He is just some light. Somebody is imposing their own religion on others. My religion is best. My religion is best. So people have so much of bad experience, so much of frustration, and they just want to give up everything. They just want to forget God, not talk about God. And then people have so many of bad experience by cheater, bogus gurus who exploit their followers. So they just want to deny the whole spiritual practice, spiritual realm. They just want to completely forget God, to not talk about God. It is just like if somebody has a cataract in the eye, what is the solution? One can do a surgery and remove that cataract, not that one pluck out the eye. But that is the scenario of these people who have certain bad experiences. They just want to give up it altogether now. They think, I just want to get rid of this. So fear, attachments, anger. Bhitaraga bhaya krodha. If somebody can give up these things, then they can understand Krishna. So another qualification to know Krishna. Krishna is equal to everybody. And next verse, Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajamyaham mam vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante. As one approaches me, tams tathaiv bhajamyaham. I also reciprocate to them accordingly. So as one approaches Krishna, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. Actually, the word uses tams tathaiv bhajamyaham. I also worship them accordingly. So as one takes shelter of Krishna, to what degree somebody takes shelter of Krishna, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. That is the first part of this verse. So for example, somebody is a materialist person. They may be little religious person, pious materialist. Their understanding about God is, oh, God is very powerful. He is a fulfiller of my material desires. Then how Krishna reciprocates with them? Okay, that's all you want? You want to enjoy in this material world? Okay, so you continue in this material world. So that is Krishna's reciprocation. If somebody is a Mayavadi, they say Krishna has no form, Krishna's form and activities are all Maya. They are all illusion. Then what Krishna reciprocates? Krishna says, I make their form, their activities into Maya. And if somebody is approaching Krishna with devotion, okay, with bhakti, then their understanding is Krishna's form and activities are eternal. And how Krishna reciprocates? Krishna says, I make their form and their activities into eternal. So if somebody has understood Krishna by tattva, knowing his form and activities, Krishna makes their form and activities also transcendental. That's what Krishna has mentioned, that they attain to my abode. Mamupeti punarjanma. So after somebody attains to me, for them there is no birth again in this material world. So different example we can see from scripture about Krishna's reciprocation. If I give 5% to Krishna, it's not that Krishna gives 5%. That is not Krishna's reciprocation. That is material calculation. Krishna's reciprocation is not quantitatively, but it's more about qualitatively. That's why we say you take one step toward Krishna, Krishna takes 10 steps towards you. So it's not same in quantity. Just like in the pastime of Krishna and Sudama. Okay, one example of Krishna's reciprocation. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiv bhajamyaham. Sudama, he wanted to visit Krishna in Dwarika, and to take any gift for Krishna, Sudama had nothing. Sudama's wife begged from few neighbors and brought few different variety of chip rice, all put together into one bundle, and gave that bundle to Sudama. So Sudama traveled all the way to Dwarika, and he visited Krishna, met Krishna. So long story short, so finally when Sudama met Krishna, Sudama received Krishna very nicely. Krishna received Sudama very nicely and make him sit on his own throne, washing his feet, giving him nice clothes, serving him nicely. And then finally Krishna asked Sudama, I'm sure you have brought some gift for me. What did the sister-in-law send through you? Bhabhi ne kya bheja tumhare haath? And Sudama was very hesitant in giving that begged chip rice, knowing Krishna's opulences. But Krishna snatched that bundle and started eating those chipped rice. Now as Krishna is eating those chipped rice, Krishna started giving all the opulences to Sudama. And Lakshmi ji, Rukmini Devi, she had to interfere. She stopped Krishna. That are you going to give away everything to Sudama? And what was Krishna's reciprocation? That Sudama has given whatever he had. He had given his everything to me. So in exchange, I should also give him everything that I have. That is Krishna's reciprocation. So it's Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiv bhajamyaham. If somebody surrenders to Krishna, approaches towards Krishna, Krishna also reciprocates equally. Now if people doesn't want to turn towards Krishna, they say hi to Krishna from far away. Krishna also say hi to them from far away only when they need him. Like many times people just walk, kind of go in front of the temple and they just beep or horn. In India it happens. To put their attendance that yes, we are walking out of your temple, or we are driving out of your temple, so they just honk. So what happens to them? Krishna, at their time also, Krishna will just say bye bye from far away, that okay, you recycle in this material world only. So Krishna's reciprocation. And if somebody is trying to cheat Krishna, Krishna says, I am the biggest cheater. You cannot cheat me. The pastime of Krishna with Krishna's reciprocation with Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, he tried to cheat the Supreme Lord. He thought, I can become immortal. By some way or another, I will ask the boons in various ways. So he asked boons from Brahma, that give me the boon, I will not die on the land, I will not die in the sky, I will not die inside the house, outside the house, by any weapon, by any human being, by any demigod. So he asked so many different combinations, permutation, to make sure he will never die. So he was trying to cheat, to become immortal. But what did Lord do? By taking care of all the boons which were awarded by Brahma, Krishna came in the form of Narsinghadev, fulfilling all those requirements. Still he killed Hiranyakashipu. So Krishna says, if somebody try to cheat me, my reciprocation is I am even a biggest cheater. Then nobody can defeat me in that also. So Krishna, when we come in bhakti, if somebody has a desire to serve Krishna nicely, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. If somebody has a desire to just get name and fame after coming in bhakti, Krishna says, okay, you just stay here and you become famous. We may see, right, there may be so many kathakars who are very famous. They have big followings. They do big pandal kathas and all. 10,000s of people come and all. If somebody is desiring name and fame, Krishna says, yes, you continue here only, you become very famous. But if somebody has a sincere desire to serve Krishna without any personal consideration, who only want to glorify Krishna, then Krishna also glorified that devotee. Like Srila Prabhupada, without any personal consideration, he served Krishna, tried to glorify Krishna throughout the world. And in exchange, as a reciprocation, what did Krishna do? Krishna glorified Srila Prabhupada through various means. So many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples writing books about Srila Prabhupada, making their memory videos and all that, making movie about the Prabhupada's achievements, his struggles also. So if somebody is serving Krishna without any personal consideration, just to glorify Krishna, Krishna make that devotee also famous anyways. Like there are so many devotees in the history also, Meera, Narsi Mehta, who are so famous. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. Even though these pastimes happened millions of years ago, we still hear about those pastimes. That is their fame. They got the place in the pages of Bhagavatam. So Krishna reciprocates with everybody accordingly. And Krishna is not partial to everybody. Sometimes people may say, oh, Lord is partial towards his devotee. He gives special consideration to his devotee. So he gives favors to the devotees and he harms the demons. But Lord says, Samah sarveshu bhuteshu. I am equal to everyone. And what is that equality? Krishna gives equal opportunity to everybody to turn towards God and return back to the spiritual world. Krishna is not saying, oh, this person, I will give special favor to him, he can come to the spiritual world. This person, I will cast him forever to hell. No, Krishna is equal to everyone. He gives equal opportunity to everyone. Whoever wants to turn towards Krishna, Krishna provides that facility. Krishna does not condemn anybody to hell for eternity. In Christianity, that is the kind of conception. You surrender to Jesus, then you will go back to Jesus. Otherwise, you will suffer in hell for eternity. No, that is not the concept. Our scriptures tell Krishna is equal to everyone. Samah sarveshu bhuteshu. Like a father, he is equal to all his children. But if one son is more favorably disposed towards the father, he is having a nice service attitude towards the father, father will definitely have little more favor, more loving exchange with that particular son. For example, if a father has 3 sons, two sons have moved out of the home, they have gone to different cities or maybe to abroad also to earn their living. They have settled with their families in a different city, different country. But there is one son who says, no, I want to just live with my parents. I want to serve, take care of them. So parents, they have love for all three children, even though the one who has gone away outside to a different city or different country, they care for them also, for their well-being also. They pray for their good also, that let you be happy. But the son who is staying with them, serving them, they may have a better disposition towards that particular son. So same way the Supreme Lord, he is equal to everyone, but somebody who serves Krishna, who approaches Krishna, move towards Krishna, Krishna is more favorably disposed towards that person. But it does not mean Krishna is partial towards others. He gives equal opportunity. But if somebody want to stay away from Krishna, then what can Krishna do? Just like sunlight is available equally to everybody. But if somebody does not want to get that sunlight, he blocks all the windows with the curtains and all, and doesn't want to get the sunlight, then what can sun do about it? Sunlight is equally available to everybody. But it is on the person how he want to receive that sunlight. So same way Krishna and his mercy are available to everybody equally. It's up to us how much and how we want to receive that mercy. So the next part of this verse, which after Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tatha bhajamyaham. And the second part of this verse, Krishna says, Mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. And that second part is very misunderstood by most people. Krishna is saying, all are on my path. But people say everything lead to God. All paths lead to God. All paths lead to Krishna ultimately. That is not the meaning of this part. Krishna is not saying everything lead to me. Krishna is saying, yes, everybody is on my path somehow or another. How? So let's understand first of all, does all path lead to Krishna? Is that the right understanding? People may quote different analogies to prove their point. They may say, as the rain falls everywhere, ultimately the rainwater falling any place, it comes into river, ultimately it flows into the ocean, it gets into the ocean. And they quote this shloka from some of the Upanishads. It says, Akasham patitam toyam yatah gacchati sagaram sarveda namaskaram keshvam prati gacchati. So this particular verse is there. It says, Akashat patitam toyam, as the water falls from the sky, yatha gacchati sagaram, ultimately it reaches into the ocean. So same way, sarv deva namaskuru. If you pay obeisances, you serve any particular divine entity, any particular Devi Devata, Keshavam prati gacchati, ultimately it reaches to the Supreme Lord. Now the essence of this mantra is to prove the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. Ultimately there is one Supreme Lord, Keshava, he is the Supreme Lord. And directly, indirectly, one is serving the Supreme Lord only. It is just like you hold your nose like this, or you try to twist your arm behind from the back and try to hold your nose like that. What is better? Approaching Krishna directly rather than indirectly approaching. So people misquote this particular example saying, oh, ultimately everybody is same, ultimately everything leads to the same goal. No, that is the wrong understanding. There is another analogy which can prove that point. So for again taking the analogy of rain. Yes, the rain falls from the sky. The rainwater falls from the sky. But the rain may fall on different places, on different things, and end up in different situation. For example, if the rain falls on a concrete surface, it may just dry up. Rain may fall on a field and it may lead to the nice crop. The rain may fall into the gutter and may become like a gutter water. And the rain may fall into a shell and become like a pearl also. अगर बारिश का पानी एक सिप्पी के ऊपर गिरे, सिप्पी के अंदर, it can become like a pearl also. So the rainwater falling onto different places, it gives a different result. And same way, different people approach the different Devi Devatas, they have a different result. And Krishna mentions in 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, different endeavor lead to different result. If everything leads to the same result, then Krishna doesn't have to speak this Bhagavad Gita. Ultimately, if everything leads to the same goal, Arjuna can fight the war, or he can go to forest, become a mendicant. How does it matter? Ultimately, everything leads to the same goal. If everything was same, end goal was same, nothing up to our endeavor, then Krishna does not even need to speak this Bhagavad Gita. The example people give is, if you throw a bucket of water into the river, ultimately it will reach to the ocean. Yes, the water may reach to the ocean, but the person who is throwing the water does not reach there. So same way, our worship ultimately, even if somebody is worshipping the supreme, the different in charges, different Devi Devatas, the some portion of that worship reaches to the Supreme Lord, but the worshipper doesn't reach the Supreme Lord. And Krishna tells that somebody who worships the Devi Devata, they go to Devi Devata. Somebody worships the ghosts and hobgoblins, they go to them. Somebody worships the Pitra, they go to the Pitra Lokas. If somebody worships me, he comes to me. So different path leads to different result. It's not that all paths lead to the same goal. But what Krishna is mentioning here is everybody is on my path. And how is that? How everybody is on Krishna's path? Because everybody is looking for happiness. Right? That is for certain. Everybody is looking for happiness. And people may look for happiness in different ways. And all these different things are manifestation of Krishna's energy. Now somebody may be attracted towards liquor to get that happiness. Now in one sense that is also Krishna's energy. But the point is, if that attraction leads us to Krishna or leads us away from Krishna, that is a different story. So everybody is on the following the path of Krishna, means they are searching for that happiness. Everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Jiver Savruphoy Krishna Nityadas, and our real identity is Satchit Anand. The Supreme Lord is Satchit Anand. He is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. So same way the soul is also a spark of Krishna. They are also desiring for that bliss. In that way, everybody is on path of Krishna. But our different attractions in this world to gain that bliss, are they taking us towards Krishna or taking us away from Krishna? Now that is we need to look up to, look into. So after describing this, now Krishna says, if all the people are on Krishna's path, then why do not they worship Krishna directly? Why they take to different paths, different worships? So Krishna answers in the next verse, where Krishna says, Kankshantam karmanaham siddhi yajante eha devata shipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Because people who are attached to gain something in this material world, temporary, Kshantam karmana siddhim yajante ehe devata, because people desire something in this material world. Quickly, they worship various Devi Devatas. Kshipram hi manushe loke, and because of that worship of the Devi Devatas, they fulfill their desires. Their desires get fulfilled. So they take to that path. So why people get attracted to worshipping the Devi Devatas? To get quick material results. To fulfill their material desires quickly. And the demigod worship, the Devi Devata worship is like a contract. Devi Devatas, when somebody worships them, they are bound to give some result as a liability. Somebody is offering a coconut to a particular Devi Devata, they are bound to give some result back. So that is like a contract, just like a child. A child wants to eat some candy, he wants to eat some sweet. Now, if the child has a bad teeth and the parents want to give proper treatment, if the child go to the parent and tells, I want to eat chocolate, Parent may say, no, not allowed. You already have cavity in your teeth. You are not allowed to eat this chocolate. Because parent want proper cure for their child. They say, if you brush twice every day, then yes, on this day I will give you once a week, I will let you eat this candy or this chocolate. So they care about their child and they are concerned about his health. So they want the well-being of their child. But now if the child, he takes $5 from the wallet of his father and he goes to the shop and gives the money and say, please give me this chocolate. What will the shopkeeper do? Because he received the money, he is bound to give the chocolate. Child, he is asking for chocolate, he will give that chocolate. The shopkeeper is not going to ask, beta, show me your teeth first. Do you have any cavity? Did you brush your teeth? He got his money, he will give the chocolate. So same way, when people worship the Devi Devatas are bound to give back some result. But somebody approaches Krishna, then Krishna is like the supreme loving father. He cares for our well-being. Krishna can fulfill all the desires, but before fulfilling those desires, Krishna will make sure, is this person eligible, if he is purified or not. First Krishna will slap. He will purify. Then he may fulfill the desire also. So like in the case of Dhruva Maharaj approached the Supreme Lord. His earlier intention was to gain a kingdom which is bigger than his father's kingdom, bigger than his father's father, bigger than his father's father's father kingdom. So Dhruva Maharaj wanted to gain a kingdom which is bigger than Brahma's kingdom. And he performed austerities. So first the Lord purified him. And then he fulfilled his desire also. When Lord appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj, he asked, okay, what do you want? Dhruva said, I was looking for the broken pieces of glasses, but now I have found the diamond. I don't want anything else. But the Lord gave him a kingdom which was bigger than that kingdom, and he ultimately gave him a place, special, his own residence, the planet where Lord resides within this material world. And he named him after Dhruva as Dhruva Lok. So Lord fulfills the desire, but first he purifies. That is the difference. So people are short-sighted. They can't think of permanent solutions, so they go after the small things here. And then Krishna says, I have created this system in this material world for your gradual elevation. What is this system? This system of Varna and Ashrama. Chaturvarnayam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram avyayam. So everything is created by Krishna. Krishna is saying, I have created this system of the Varna and Ashrama system, the division of society as per the 4 Varna and 4 Ashrama for their gradual elevation, for their gradual progression towards Krishna. So what is this division of society? So basically the whole society is divided into 4 categories, the 4 Varna and 4 Ashrama. And these are not by birth. These are Guna, Karma, Vibhagashah. Krishna is saying, I have created that division based on their qualities and the work associated with them. Guna, Karma, not by birth. So what is this 4 Varna and Ashrama? The 4 Varna is basically the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. These are the 4 categories based on the occupation. And then based on the phase of life, it's Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasi. So these are the 4 Varna and 4 Ashrama. And the purpose is for gradual elevation towards the spiritual life. Now this division of society, it's not that it is only in India. It is prevalent everywhere in all parts of life. The Brahmana means the intellectual class of people, like the teachers who give directions to the society. Now, are the teachers only in India? Teachers are there everywhere in all parts of the world. Even in USA, we have teacher class of people. So, this division is for everything. Now, the Kshatriya, the administrative class of people, everywhere in all part of world, those category of people are there. The mercantile class of people, the Vaishya, they are also everywhere. And the artisans, the laborer class of people, they are also everywhere. So Varna, the division based on Varna, is a natural division of society which is prevalent everywhere. It's not that division of society in India. It's not something called Jativad. This concept of Jativad was created later on as a division of society based on the Jati. Krishna has not created that. Krishna says, I have created this natural division of society based on guna and karma. And it's not by birth. It's not that somebody has taken birth in the family of a Brahmana, he is a Brahmana by default. No. Just like somebody has taken birth in the family of a doctor, doesn't mean the child is definitely going to become a doctor. Yes, if the child has taken birth in a particular family based on the particular environment provided, the facilities provided, he has more scope of becoming like that. The doctor's son, if he is trained, he is given the facilities from the early on, he also can become a doctor. So same way a son of Brahmana, they have attracted a particular soul based on his previous qualities. Now if the child is cultivated properly, he can also become a Brahmana. But it's not that by default he is a Brahmana. Just like a son of an engineer by default doesn't become an engineer, son of a doctor by default does not become a doctor. So same way, this division is not by birth, but by the qualities we acquire and based on the work associated. Somebody may be born in the family of Brahmana, but he is doing like a Shudra class of people. He is not a Brahmana. There are people on namesake Brahmana only. They will wear a Janayu, but they are smoking cigarette, they are drinking, they are eating non-veg. They have no qualities of Brahmana as Satyam, Shuchi. So, one becomes a particular category based on the guna and karma. So Krishna says, I have created that division of society. Again, Krishna is not partial towards anybody, that I will make that person into a Shudra or I will make that person into a Brahmana. No, Krishna is equal to everybody. Somebody can qualify to become a Brahmana even though he has taken birth in a artisan family. And verse 5 is also true. Somebody may have taken a birth in a Brahmana family, but he is just living like a Shudra. Now, in the case of Mahabharata, at the time of Mahabharata, Ashvathama was born to Dronacharya, the son of a Brahmana, but Ashvathama was not referred as a Brahmana. He was referred as a Dvija Bandhu. That he has taken birth in the family of a Brahmana, but his qualities were not like that of a Brahmana. So, Krishna is equal to everyone. And just like the rain may fall at different places, and based on where it falls, if it is fall in a field where nice wheat seed is grown, the wheat will grow. If the rain falls on the seed where some weed is there, seeds of the weed are there, the weed will grow. It's not due to the rain. The problem is with the seed. What type of seed is there? So Krishna is like the rain, and the different seeds, we are like the different seeds, and based on our qualities, that kind of things we will develop. So Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Krishna further says that I am the maker of the system, but I am not the doer. Even though Krishna has created this division, but Krishna is not getting entangled with that. He is not the doer. Why? Because Krishna has not put people into these places. They have been put into the respective places based on their previous karma. So Krishna is not partial. Krishna doesn't say, I like this person, I will make him into Brahmana. I don't like this person, I will make him into a Shudra. Krishna is equal. Just like a judge. Judge may reward one person based on his good activity. Judge may punish another person based on his some crime committed. So So judge is equal to everyone. He is just giving them the result based on their activity. So same way Krishna is not putting people into these places categorically, but they have come into these places based on their previous activities. So now further Lord Krishna talk about this. After talking about this transcendental knowledge, how to apply this transcendental knowledge, Krishna further speak about removing the reaction of our karma in this material world by performing a karma. And we discussed earlier, there are three categories: vikarma, karma and akarma. Vikarma is doing certain activities by disobeying the laws of scripture for our personal sense enjoyment. That is sinful activity. Then doing punya karma, pious activity, which is called sakama karma, doing the activity by following the principle of scriptures but for personal enjoyment. Yes, one is following the principle of scripture but for personal enjoyment, that is sakama karma. But then beyond that is akarma, doing the activities by following the principles of scripture for pleasure of Krishna, not for our own pleasure. Okay, by following the devotional principle, then it becomes akarma. So Krishna says, Gahana karmano gati. The karma is very complicated. It is very difficult to understand. So how one can come to the level of akarma? Krishna gives the various concepts here, various qualifications there. One should become free from the desire of sense gratification. Kama sankalpa varjitaha. One should become free from the desire of enjoyment. One should become free from the attachment to result of his own action. Tyaktva karma phala sangaha nitya tripto nirashraya. So one become free from desire for enjoyment. One become free from the attachment to the result. One become free from the expectations. Do not have expectations from anybody in this world. Once a person, he went to a sadhu and he asked the sadhu, I want to know how to become free. Sadhu asked, do you want to only know how to become free or you want to become free? He said, yes, I want to become free from this bondage. So the sadhu said, do the two things immediately. What are these two things? Stop expecting from anybody. Stop asking anything from anybody. And second thing, if you need to pay back to somebody, just give it and finish it off. So पहली चीज, किसी से मांगना बंद कर दो. दूसरी चीज, जिसका जो देना है उसका देके काम खत्म करो. So that is not having any expectations in this world. Now people in this world have so many expectations from others, and people are living on debt actually. And that is the reason why everybody is filled with so much of anxiety and misery. When there is so much debt on the head, how can somebody be happy, somebody be peaceful? So Krishna is saying here, become free from expectations. The next point Krishna says, become free from the sense of ownership. Don't think yourself to be the proprietor. Okay, you did not come in this world with anything and you will go empty-handed only. You don't carry anything with you. So don't consider yourself as honor. And be satisfied with whatever comes on its own accord. And then become free from the dualities and do not envy others. Do not have the envy towards others. We are all filled with envy to some degree. In the first place, there was envy with Krishna only. We became envy with Krishna. Why Krishna should be the enjoyer? Why he should be in the center? I want to become the center. So that envy towards others, envy towards Krishna. So one need to become free from envy, free from the dualities, and become steady in both success and failure. Either it's success or failure, just become equipoised that everything is coming and going in due course of time, and I should become equipoised. That's why in second chapter Krishna says, Don't lament for something which is not worthy of lamentation. And try to tolerate these dualities. Matra sparshas tu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkada. So here, Krishna is talking about becoming free from the bondage by performing a karma. And to perform a karma, these are the certain qualifications. And now the sacrifices to perform to receive this transcendental knowledge. So another maybe 10 minutes or so and we'll wrap up this chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So the last section of this chapter, again very important, the various sacrifices to perform to receive this transcendental knowledge. Krishna says different people perform different category of sacrifice. Some people perform Dhrava Yagya, they give their wealth. Okay, they give charity in this world, they donate to other people, needy people. Some people perform various yagyas, some people perform the sacrifice of brahmacharya. So in that way, many people perform different degree, different level of sacrifice. But what is the most important aspect, most important sacrifice to receive this transcendental knowledge? That is the ultimate crux of this chapter. Text 34, very important verse of this 4th chapter. How to receive this transcendental knowledge? Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya uptekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So how to receive and relish this spiritual knowledge? Krishna says tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So first one should approach a bona fide guru. Krishna is not saying you can, you should approach a guru. No, Krishna says you must. One must approach a bona fide guru. It's not if you desire, if you like. No, you must. If somebody want to receive transcendental knowledge, it is only possible by taking shelter of a guru. And sometimes people think, oh, why I should approach a guru? Why should I accept a guru? I can learn by myself. And one can think, I am my own guru. I can read some books and I can learn by myself. One who is one's own guru has a fool as their disciple. So we cannot trust our own mind because our mind is the root cause of the problems. So we have to receive guidance from something outside. As I gave the example earlier, if somebody has fallen in a quicksand, to come out of the quicksand you need help from outside. So we need to accept a bona fide guru. And sometimes people say, why I should bring somebody else in between me and Krishna? Why I need a mediator? Okay, a third person, a middleman. No, the guru does not come between us and God. Actually, guru removes whatever is between us and Krishna. And whatever is between us and Krishna, the doubts, misunderstandings, misconceptions. So the guru removes those things which are in between us and Krishna. It's not that guru come in between, he is a middleman. He is a representative of Krishna to help us to move towards Krishna. Yes, Krishna is there as super soul in our heart. But right now we are not able to hear the voice of super soul. Because our mind's voice is much bigger than the voice of super soul. And the guru acts like a microphone to amplify that voice of the super soul. Just like if I'm sitting here and if I'm speaking in the microphone, the voice can reach to many people in the back also. So to amplify that voice, we are using a microphone. So same way the Supreme Lord is in the heart as super soul, but to amplify that voice, Guru acts like a microphone. He is the via media to provide that knowledge to us. So Krishna says, Tad vidhi pranipatena. One should approach a bona fide guru, and then what should one do by approaching a guru? Pranipatena. One should fall down at the feet. One should pay obeisances. Paying namaskar. And then pariprashnena. One should ask questions to clarify one's doubts. In a very humble, submissive mood. It's not about arguing or in a challenging spirit, but very humbly, submissively asking about questions to remove the doubts from the heart. So pariprashnena. There is vivad and samvad. Okay, two words used. Vivad and Samvad. Vivad means debate, argument. Right? What happens in the material world these days is all Vivad. You open up any news channel, any TV shows, all this is going on is Vivad, argument. Somebody is trying to cut down others' voice and speak louder than them to prove their point. So that is all Vivad. Samvad is Samyak Rupena Vad, which is a mutual conversation, mutually opening up the heart to gain that knowledge. So some humbly and submissively asking, inquiring. So approaching a guru, paying obeisances, inquiring from the guru humbly, and then sevaya, rendering service unto the guru. That is another qualification, another important criteria. One should humbly serve the guru. And by serving the guru, what happens is if somebody can lovingly serve the guru, then the guru becomes pleased and that knowledge actually becomes revealed in the heart. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. The transcendental knowledge becomes revealed in the heart. So we should accept a guru. That is a must criteria. It's not if I want, if I like, if I feel like. No. And why to accept a guru? Actually, guru is like an X-ray machine. Okay, like you go to the doctor and doctor will do the X-ray and he can tell what is the problem inside, if there is a fracture in the bone or something. But the photographer, if you go to a photographer to get your photo taken, photographer is not concerned about what is inside. Photographer is more concerned about what is outside, how you look like from outside. Are you dressed nicely, proper tie, the hair are combed properly or not? And photographer will say, smile please. So photographer is not concerned about what is your mental situation, how you're feeling. He will just look outside, how you look from outside. But the doctor is not concerned about how you look from outside. You are dressed in a nice suit, pant, coat and all that. Doctor is more concerned about what is going inside the body, what is the problem. And he may do the X-ray and tell you this is your problem. So Guru is also like a X-ray. He's like a doctor who gives the X-ray of our internal system. Guru tells us, you have this problem, you have that problem. You need to work on this thing. You have too much of attachment with this thing, too much of envy and this thing. So Guru is just like an X-ray who will show us our real internal situation and work on that. He is not like a photographer who is trying to do the sugar coating, try to please. Guru's job is not to please the disciple, to say what the disciple will like to hear. But Guru will speak what is important for the disciple to hear. So here is the qualification which Krishna is giving. First, accepting a guru, and then three things to be done. Pranipatena, pariprashnena, sevaya. Okay, and then even Lord Krishna, whenever he comes in various avatars, he himself also accepts a guru to set an example for others. Yad yad acharati sreshta. So when Lord Ram came, he accepted a guru as Guru Vashishta or Vishwamitra also. When Lord Krishna came, he went to the ashram of Sandipani Muni, he accepted him as a guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted a guru, Ishwarapuri, to set an example. All the great acharyas, they have accepted a guru. Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they come meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanatan Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Ramakeli, के आमी केने आमाया जारे तापत्राया एहा नहीं जानी के माने हित होया. This is a Bengali language where Sanatan Goswami is asking, ke ami, I don't know who am I. Jare tapatraya, what is this threefold miseries? Why is this threefold misery imposing upon me? Eha nahi jani, ke mane hit hoya, I don't know what is beneficial for me. So he came, accepted Mahaprabhu as his guru and inquired. Pariprashnena. Parikshit Maharaj, he came to the banks of Ganges, sat down in front of the sages and inquired from them. Okay, he asked the questions. What is the responsibility? What is the most important activity for somebody who is about to die, and in journal for everybody? And all our scripture, they are in a question answer format. Somebody is asking question and another person is answering. Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj accepted Narada as his guru while he was still in the womb of his mother. Dhruva accepted Narad Muni as his guru. Vedavyas has Narad Muni as his guru. So everybody, they have accepted a guru, they show by their example. So one should accept a guru and serve the guru. Now, guru can be served in two ways, Vapu Seva and Vani Seva. Vapu Seva means physically serving the guru, like cooking the prasadam, the food for guru, washing his clothes or massaging his feet. It could be as a physical service, Vapu Seva. But the most important is Vani Seva, following the instructions of the guru. If guru says, you need to go there, you need to do this, and the disciple says, yes, I will do that. Not that if I feel like. So if somebody is not willing to hear the instructions, then next onwards, they will stop giving the instruction. Or this person is not willing to accept, willing to follow, then what is the point of telling? So we should be willing to accept those instructions and follow those instructions. So serving the guru, and as I've already mentioned, parampara is not that somebody is coming in between us and Krishna. It's not the link of the heads, but it is the link of the hearts. And when somebody accepts a bona fide guru, somebody connects with the guru, whatever previous their piety has, that piety transforms into spirituality with a connection through a guru. So that is the importance of a guru. And guru removes all the misconceptions. And now finally, Krishna is telling that this transcendental knowledge is so powerful, it burns up everything like the fire burns the firewood to ashes. So the same way the transcendental knowledge, it burns up all the reactions of all our previous material activities. So that is the nature of this transcendental knowledge. And what are the qualities of a disciple to be able to acquire this knowledge? Okay, and that is the last one. We will discuss this one and end there. So far we discussed transcendental knowledge. In the beginning, how one can acquire the transcendental knowledge. One need to receive in parampara, accept a guru, be in a role of as a devotee to Krishna, approach a guru. But how we continue to progress, what are the qualities of a disciple to be able to acquire and absorb the transcendental knowledge? So Krishna here gives 3 qualities which are very important for us to progress in our spiritual life, to continue to gain this transcendental knowledge. So text 439, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparah samyat indriyah jnanam labdva param shantim achiren adhigacchati. So 3 qualities mentioned here. What are these 3 qualities? Shraddhavan, faithful. Then tatpar, very eager. Samyat indriya, control on the senses. So these are the 3 qualities which is Lord Krishna mentioning here as the qualities of a disciple to acquire this knowledge. So faithful. If somebody is faithful towards the guru, faithful towards the process, faithful towards the instructions of the guru, he can acquire the transcendental knowledge. So Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Tatpara, he should be very eager. Progressing in spiritual life is not based on our material qualification. Okay, how much wealth I have, how much handsome somebody looks, how much physical strength somebody may have. No, these are not the qualification. What is the only price we need to pay to acquire this transcendental knowledge is our eagerness. How eager, how determined we are to receive this transcendental knowledge and render service. So that tatparata, eagerness, and samyat indriya, control on the senses. If somebody is not controlled in their habits, in their regulation, in their engaging the senses, then they cannot acquire this knowledge. That's what Krishna has already mentioned in 2nd chapter in the contents of Gita summarized. Krishna says, if somebody is too attached to their opulences and the enjoyment. They cannot become single pointed in this path. So here Krishna is saying samyat indriya. Somebody need to become very controlled in their habits. If somebody does not control the senses, or if somebody does not have the eagerness, then his learning will be very slow. That's why we see sometimes some people come in the process, they are just staying at a beginning stage because they do not have that eagerness. They do not have the control on the senses. Even though they come to the process, but it's very slow. But on the other side, somebody comes in the process and they run fast because they have so much eagerness. So these are the qualities which we need to acquire to progress in spiritual life. Otherwise, what happens is we tell somebody, please come to temple, please come to satsang program. They say, yes, I will do tomorrow. Oh, let me finish this work today. I will definitely attend next program. I will attend next week program. Then it keep going next. Kal. और कल करते उनका काल आ जाता है. But tomorrow never comes. Because why? They do not have the urgency in life. They think this is the secondary thing. My other activities of this material life, they are the most important. And this thing can happen tomorrow also. So they keep pushing it to tomorrow. Because they do not have the sense of urgency. They do not have that eagerness. So we need to have these three qualities: Shraddha, eagerness, and control on the senses. And this is overall, Krishna says, somebody who has the faith, they can receive this knowledge which will help them to cut down all the reactions to their material activities and free them from the bondage. But on the other side, if somebody does not have faith, they cannot attain peace in this life or in the next life. Okay, so this is where Lord Krishna ends, and this is the overall chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, the transcendental knowledge. Again, remember the acronym we used is EARS, EARS, because the transcendental knowledge is primarily received through hearing. We need to hear from the authority, approach a guru, hear from him. Okay, hearing is very important. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So hearing, Shravanam is the first anga of sadhana bhakti. Okay, so with that we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Please forgive me. I think I went little over time here to be able to complete this chapter discussion. Let's see quickly if anybody has any questions. And I know we want to play a Kahoot game also, which is another 10 minutes or so. Anybody has any question based on what we have discussed today?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Prabhu.
Prabhu, you said that Guru is very important. I agree with this one. But like there is a trend, especially in Maharashtra, that many people have gurus who are not exist right now. Like they have passed away before 100 years or like, and they are having them as a guru. Like, so is it like is it correct? That's my question.
No. See, in the beginning, yes, somebody may be following their teachings, their kind of the teachings they have left behind, but ultimately one need to have a living guru. Why? Because accepting a guru is not the only criteria. Yes, that is one criteria, that one should accept a guru, but after you accept a guru, what do? Krishna says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So how do you render service? How do you do pariprashnena? For pariprashnena means you need to have somebody who can be with you, from whom you can inquire, from whom you can ask your doubts. Right? So as a beginning point, yes, we can accept something as our kind of guide as our guru in the sense of receiving knowledge, but ultimately one need to accept a living guru. So like here in the beginning, everybody, we accept Srila Prabhupada as our prominent Siksha Guru. Even though Prabhupada is not here with us today, right? But we follow Prabhupada's teaching through his books, through the commentaries he have written, through his lectures, through his letters he has written to his disciples. So we gain knowledge through those various mediums. But then ultimately, to be able to progress in spiritual life, one need to accept a living guru also, which is coming in the same disciplic succession. So
But
that's
then
why.
Guru, but then at one time, I mean, there is always a lifetime for every guru, right?
Right, that is true. So that is also true. Yes, I can accept a guru, but he may be here for a few years. After that, he will also be gone. Then again, it's the same thing, right? Then what is the point of accepting a guru? Why not just simply continue following Srila Prabhupada's instruction in that way? No, even though you accepted a guru, you were with him for some time only. But that time, little time spent with the guru will give you the lifetime in terms of inspiration to continue on this path. Okay, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they have spent maybe few moments with Prabhupada. Some of them have met Prabhupada only once maybe. They even did not speak to Prabhupada directly. But just having that association, momentarily association, seeing him physically there in front of them, just Prabhupada smiled at them once, and just remembering that exchange, they got so much inspiration and they are able to continue in this spiritual life.
Yes,
So-
same as Prabhupada, right?
Right. So Prabhupada, he got in kind of a association with his guru few times only. But because whatever association he got with his Guru Maharaj, he was able to follow those instructions and continue in the spiritual life in that way. So yes, even though we may have exchanged with our Guru only few limited times, we may meet our Guru once in a year only, but just that connection with Guru, that is a link with Guru Parampara. Okay, so that connects us with Krishna. So it is just like getting connected in the link, in that chain. So there is
That
a,
will connected to Krishna, right?
yes,
I mean, the connection will be like from you to Guru and Guru to Krishna.
yes.
So that is the shortest path.
Yeah, because Guru is just like as a biam media. He's a transparent biam media, just like a postman. Postman delivers the letter as it is. He's just not opening the envelope and reading through or putting his own wording something in there. He is just delivering that letter. So same way Guru, he is just like a postman who delivers the message of Krishna. That is a bona fide Guru. Okay, so the purpose of Guru is for us to be able to connected with that parampara to receive the mercy of Krishna. And you can gain or you can listen to the realization of all the devotees when they connect with the Guru Parampara, take shelter of a Guru, what kind of changes or the inspiration one gets or the inner commitment which comes through. Yeah, after taking shelter of a Guru, because that inner commitment comes. Earlier, before taking shelter of a Guru, somebody may be thinking, yes, I am following bhakti, but then they may not be very serious, right? There are so many ups and downs, because somebody thinks, oh, I have not taken Diksha, so maybe if I miss it sometime, it's okay for me. But once somebody take Diksha, surrender to the Guru, then that inner commitment comes. Okay, and with the instruction, Guru gives the ability also to follow those instructions. So just like you connect with the powerhouse, right? So you connect to the powerhouse, when you plug in, then the electricity comes, flows through that. So same way when we connect with the Guru Parampara, then we are connecting with the supreme powerhouse. Okay, does it clarify?
Yes, got it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Okay, if not, should we stop it here and then we can move to the Kahoot session? Okay. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.